Anthony? Is Anthony in here?
Are we good? Okay, thank you, hon.
Oh, look how wonderful you look.
Thank you. If you'll excuse me.
Getty, Wire Image, Associated Press is coming, Bustle, Daily Beast. Do you have a lot to do?
There's always a lot to do.
We're ready to start? Okay, we're gonna start. So we need everyone to come back. Come back, come back.
We put together an event that was so loved and so well embraced by everybody. We're gonna be the first ones, and we're gonna wanna keep this going from now on so we can raise money for pet rescue. All present photographers, if you step to the front, we're gonna do the presentation right now. This is just a prelude to what's yet to come.
Time to introduce you to a man when it comes to canine couture.
The Dior of doggy design.
As a designer who needs no introduction, nobody does it better than Anthony Rubio. Anthony Rubio.
Anthony Rubio.
Mama Anthony Rubio. El diseñador Anthony Rubio. Designer Anthony Rubio.
Anthony Rubio.
Fashion's biggest night remade for man's best friend.
Here he is, Anthony Rubio.
Here. We are so excited you are joining our Live from East stream celebrating the 2023 Met Gala. I'm Marilyn Rhodes, and I'm thrilled.
I am the voice for those who do not speak. I know that animals do suffer even though they can't say so. I like to believe that through observation, through study, we learn and we become better people. So I'm gonna do the shirt first, then the jacket on top, but I want that orangey red. I don't want just red, I want an orange red. I would prefer to be around dogs more than people a lot of the times because you learn so much from them. There's no egos, there's no retaliation, there's always love and unconditional love, and there's always a camaraderie, and they will defend and protect you. Whereas people, you know, the people are very two-sided, and they will say one thing and do another. I learned early on in life that you have to respect nature, and sometimes you have to open up your mouth and defend them, because if not, there are other people who will come and do harm. You're good. I just can't believe that Access Hollywood only gives me 2 days to put all of this stuff together. Pet fashion is stepping out of the shadows of human fashion and traditional dog shows.
The Westminster Dog Show, the nation's oldest and most important dog show, is breaking with a 138-year tradition.
Now it's our turn to shine on the global stage. 2 weeks after the 2024 Met Gala marks the grand debut of our art form. Pet fashion is not just a trend, it's here to stay. My name is Anthony Rubio, and I am a pet couturier. I'm a fashion designer, in other words. I was born in the South Bronx of New York. It wasn't an easy upbringing. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My father left my mother when I was 5 years old, and he left her with 3 boys. My younger brother was only 4 years old at the time. My mom's name was Hilda Colon. She worked creating jewelry. It was costume jewelry. It was that very inexpensive stuff. My mom had a lot of strict rules, and she was a stickler for education. She got her degree and became a Spanish teacher with the New York Board of Education. We were raised in housing projects where we weren't allowed to have pets, but we had pets. My brother used to sneak in all these animals into the house. We had hamsters. We had frogs that my grandmother one day screamed because she went to take a bath and there was a duck floating around in the bathtub. That's how we learned to respect and love nature and animals. When my brother would drop me off at the parks, because little did he realize that you're leaving me alone and there's nobody there with me to play or anything. So I would explore. Eventually, if there were squirrels or cats, stray cats, I would feed them, or I'd try to coax them to play with me until another kid would come along, and then we would talk and play around or whatever. A lot of my connection with animals, I think, started back then. Robert, I don't care who you are, you need a team to put things together to work. And the team that I work with is with Rob.
The show is gonna start around 12:45, so be completely dressed, ready, shoes, 12:30.
If it wasn't for Rob, I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am right now because yes, I have the skill, I have the artistic talent, but you also need that person that's going to elevate it and put it in front of the public eye.
Hi, I'm Robert. I basically run operations of Anthony Rubio Designs. Basically everything that Anthony takes credit for. Hey, I'm Robert. How are you?
Joey Angelo.
Hi,
we
welcome.
didn't get the direct invitation, but we're hoping that.
Don't tell anyone, I might get fired. So let me tell you what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
So a day-to-day with Anthony is setting up what's coming up, putting everything in place, scheduling his very busy schedule. So the New York Post is coming at 11. The person who's interviewing you is not until later. They want to make it into tomorrow's paper, so she needs time to edit the photos.
Rob and I have been together, I would say, close to 30 years. He knows how I think. He knows me emotionally. He knows how I behave. He knows how I'm going to take news. I've learned through him not to act on emotion, if not to think first before reacting.
These dresses are like a maze to figure them out, but I met Anthony in the mid-1990s.
I was working in mid-Manhattan, and one day I went into Bloomingdale's.
My father always did a Christmas card, and so I would go to Bloomingdale's to pick out a Christmas sweater.
That day I was walking by, and as I'm walking by, there's this guy putting on a sweater, and I thought to myself, God, that sweater is ugly. He said, could you help me? I'm invited to a Christmas party and I need a sweater. I went to help him. We got him a sweater, and I said my goodbyes. And
so we go to the party.
And when I walk into the Christmas party, lo and behold, who's standing there wearing the sweater?
I look up and I see it was Anthony. We talked for, I think, 3 hours.
And 3 weeks later, we're living together. So I get this phone call that apparently this little dog had been chained to the fence and was being beaten by a drug-infused owner, this woman. So I went and I spoke to the police officer and I said, what's gonna happen to that little dog? They said, well, we'll take him, but they'll probably put him in a shelter. But you gotta be careful because he snips. And I'm like, so what's the problem? I says, he's defending himself, he was being beaten. They was like, well, that's the problem. If you put him in a shelter, they're gonna put him down because they can't put him in a new home if he bites. And I was like, not on my watch. The police officer turned around and said to me, I can't help it if when I went to to pick up the dog, if he got loose and ran away. He says, you got 5 minutes. Bandit was a little Chihuahua mix. And the reason why I called him Bandit was because he had markings that looked like he had a little black mask. I found that really charming. Robert was already set in his mind that we were gonna find him a new home.
And in my mind, it says, oh gosh, he's gonna keep this dog.
And in my mind, I had already decided the dog stays, and if Robert gives me a hard time, it's Robert that's going. After we took him to his first medical appointment with a veterinarian, they found scars and they found that he had cracked ribs at one time. He had been so badly abused. I cried at the vet.
By this point, there was a huge connection with Anthony and the dog. And he says, no matter what, I'll pay it. And normally this is something we would talk about. He didn't do that. He made the decision to go ahead and pay for whatever this dog needed.
At that moment, I decided this dog is not gonna suffer anymore. This dog has lived a terrible life and he's gonna live like a king. That's what it was. Okay, that's what I want. I started designing clothing for him, and one day I designed a silver outfit for Bandit, encrusted in Swarovski crystals with bell bottoms and the whole nine. Bandit did win, and one of the judges said there's a bigger event that happens in New York called the Tompkins Square Park Halloween Parade. Bandit won his category. We had an entourage going with us and cameras and everything. And from then on, we went to every event.
Okay, we're at Macy's, New York, where Bandit just won out of the 147 dogs competing the Macy's Petacular. This is just for you, Chris.
Who is this?
This is Bandit Rubio, New York's Barking Beauty a few weeks ago.
Bandit not only was just wearing the clothing, he was now the face of. It just kept going. It got to a point where there was a competition of New York icons, and I decided to dress Bandit as Donald Trump. And the next day, it showed up in the New York Daily News, a side-by-side of Donald Trump. Donald Trump found out about it and was not happy. And that blew up all over the internet.
I love you. Thank you for having me. How are you? No problem. Hi, baby. How's it going, baby? Mwah. Mwah.
Hi, I'm Robert. Yes, hi.
Hi, Raquel.
Hi, Raquel. Thank you for coming. Emmy's here. Oh, yeah. Let me introduce you, Raquel. She's from the New York Post.
Hi, Raquel. Nice to meet you. I'm Lori. Yes, Lori. Nice to meet you.
I met Anthony on his Instagram. I had just done a Bravo television show at my house with Carson Kressley and Tom Felicia, and one of the comments was Anthony Rubio.
Okay. Oh my gosh. This is Pedro. Pedro. Hi, Pedro.
He was the first person that really started this in the fashion world. It just became so big with what he has done that everyone is just seeing it. It's been all over the place. We're super, super, super excited. There's never been anything like this before.
Today is the Pet Gala, the first taste of what's going to be an annual event. All press and photographers, if you step to the front, we're gonna do the presentation right now.
Anthony Rubio has climbed to the top of Canine Couture, ever focused on conquering his charity cause.
We put together an event that was so loved and so well embraced by everybody. I'm still getting emails from all over the world. We got press from every country.
This is an event that's been called the Pet Gala.
Después de la Met Gala, la Pet Gala.
Every event he has is so fun.
Canine couturier Anthony Rubio worked around the clock to create these doggy designs in just 3 days.
Anthony is an innovator. He's always pushing the envelope and he's always surprising us with new looks.
I had to invent the patterns for these designs to come through because I don't force an animal to ever wear anything. If the animal doesn't want to wear it, they don't wear it. When I do put something on an animal, it's for comfort, for safety, flexibility, and for them to have safety that they can go to the bathroom and not ruin the garment. Access Hollywood has taken to giving me a call 2 days before the Met Gala and throwing a challenge at me to create 5 pieces of the most outstanding designs that are seen on the red carpet.
We came up with the idea with only weeks ahead of us to put together this event, and I was the biggest skeptic. I'm like, you're never gonna pull this off.
I cannot believe what I'm witnessing. From my advanced beginning stage to what I'm seeing now.
This is a life-changing event of saving a dog. Basically set his life in a whole different path.
I thought the Met Pet Gala was spectacular.
This is something to watch out for.
I think he's a superhuman. I mean, I don't understand how he gets these things done in the nick of time. I feel special to be a part of it, but I think he makes us all feel that we're a big part of this too, and that's very much appreciated.
The Met Gala is a fun event. It's like the Academy Awards for fashion. Who doesn't dream of one day walking that carpet? But why not create my own? And why not create it with the most fun subjects that you can get? Brace yourselves for the Pet Gala, set to dazzle New York City at the AKC Museum of the Dog, just 2 weeks following the 2024 Met Gala. Prepare to be amazed at this extraordinary event. Can't wait to see you there.